We're now going to work on the salsa routine. So let's start with the basic figure. So it's basically comprised of 2 rock steps, one going forward and one going backwards. So let's look at what rock steps are, right? We've got a variety of them that we're using in all of our dances, so I'm going to work on just the 2 that we need for this particular dance. So a rock step, if we go forward on the left foot, I'm just going to take a very small step forward, and then I'm going to replace my weight right back to that original foot, and then I'm going to close my feet, right? If I'm doing a back rock, as I go back on my right foot, this time I'm going to take, again, a very small step back, and then I replace my weight forward, and then I close my feet. Okay, so I'm just showing you this way so you can see it's pretty small, right? I mean, there's like a few inches between my feet, but that's kind of the extent of the step, okay? The other thing to think about with the actions here, right, is that I'm gonna go ahead and, don't worry about this too much if this doesn't come natural to you, but when I take my step, I'm gonna go ahead and take it with a bent knee, and then I'm gonna straighten it as I move back. And then I switch. And same thing, when I go back, I'm gonna go ahead and place with a bent knee, straighten it as I arrive, and then as I go forward, I'm gonna have a bent knee and straighten it as I arrive, right? Don't worry about this too much, but if you think of kind of a more relaxed sort of walking action, it might fall under your feet, okay? Now, let's make sure that you're clear on this left and right thing. So we're gonna begin with the weight on the right foot, left foot free. We're gonna start that first rock step forward, switching weight, now I've got my right foot free, and now I can go back and do my back rock, okay? So now the timing of this is probably the trickiest thing. There's only 6 steps, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 steps. But we're dancing over 8 beats of music, so we've gotta eat up 2 beats somewhere. So this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna step forward on beat 1, back on beat 2, close on beat 3, and then we're gonna take a little break on beat 4. We're gonna do no weight changes. Okay, then we're gonna pick up again on beat 5, we're gonna move back 5, we're gonna move forward on beat 6, and then we're gonna go ahead and close our feet, switching weight on beat 7, and again, we're gonna kind of just relax on beat 8. Yeah, so it's gonna look like this. 1, 2, 3, hold 4, 5, 6, 7, hold 8, and a 1, 2, 3, hold 4, 5, 6, 7, we hold 8. Okay? A convention in salsa oftentimes is to count it 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, where they simply omit saying 4 and 8 because there's no action really happening on those beats, which is totally fine. Just make sure that if you're counting it that way, that you're actually holding for that actual beat that you're counting for. So it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, right? So like I said, feel free to use that convention if you like, but just make sure that you're really actually holding that beat, okay? So that is your salsa basic. That's the traditional basic that everyone does all the time. Now we're gonna go ahead and look at a side basic, which is the same concept, but instead of going forward and back, we're gonna go side to side. So once again, beginning with the left foot free with weight on the right foot, we're gonna do a rock step to the side this time. So we're gonna do a small step to the side, replace weight back, and close our feet. And again, we're gonna go to the side, replace weight, and close. So same idea, but instead of going forward and back, we go side to side. So we begin to the side, 1, 2, 3, hold 4, 5, 6, 7, hold 8. 1, 2, 3, hold 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, so that's your side basic. The next thing I want to teach you is the right turn. So real quick, I'm just going to show you what it looks like, and I'll actually just show from profile. So if I have just my basic, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So what's happening is, from the first half, I'm gonna take my forward walk kind of as if I was doing my basic. But rather than necessarily doing a complete weight transfer, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna place weight into that foot, but I'm gonna use that left foot to push myself around, and I'm gonna do a half a turn, replacing weight back to my right foot. Then from here, staying on my right foot, I'm gonna finish the second half of the turn and close my feet. Yeah, let me show you again. So on beat 1, we're gonna go ahead and place that left foot forward. On 2, I'm gonna turn and replace back to the right foot. And then for 3, I'm gonna turn and close my feet. A little more continuously. 1, 2, 3. Let me do it in the orientation that you'd be doing it then, yeah? 1, 2, 3. And then I'm ready to go back on my right foot, yeah? So the entire figure then is the turn first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we hold 8. So we wrap it up with the second half of the basic. For the turn, a couple of tips on the turn. As I walk forward, what I want you to notice is that I'm not taking the step on its own track. I'm actually placing one foot in front of the other. This is gonna make it to where when I do my half turn, I basically have the same kind of alignment. If I take kind of a wide step, it's gonna be a little bit twisty. If I step too far across myself, that could also get a little bit tangled. So, kind of the best option for the most part is gonna be to step one foot right in front of the other, and you do your half turn. Then we've got the turn, right? So what's gonna happen is, to create momentum, I'm gonna twist my body, right? And I'm gonna allow myself to turn over the ball of the foot. So, a couple things about that. When I create this rotation, I have to make sure that I'm only twisting and I'm not also inclining. So if you imagine you were in this very tight little cylinder, right? You can't move to the sides or forward and back. You can only twist, right? So if I'm on a foot and I'm gonna turn, I can wind up and I can twist, but I can't incline, right? So that's gonna be the tough part, is making sure that you're not weeble wobbling all over the place. That's one part. Now you can use your hands to help as well, right? But again, make sure that you don't swing them to the side, right? So it is easier if you go ahead and twist with your upper body a little bit, but making sure that you don't tip as you do that. That's super, super important. So then we step forward, 1, 2. So as I turn, I've already wound up and I'm gonna go ahead and turn my body, 3. Making sure that you keep the weight into the ball of the foot, because if my foot is flat, right, I've got weight into the ball and the heel, and I twist, it's gonna be harder to get any kind of rotation going on, right? You might actually hurt your knees, so do be very careful about it. So again, the points are 1 foot in front of the other, half turn, weight into the ball of the foot, twist the body, and finish your turn, okay? So that is your right turn. So now I'm gonna move into the body of work that kind of falls into the category of shines, right? And shines are these, anything that you can kind of do as a soloist when you're dancing with a partner, right? It's a very common thing where you're dancing with a partner, then they'll let you go and you'll both kind of do your own thing, right? So the first thing we're gonna learn is called a Suzie Q. So we're gonna begin with weight on the right foot, and I'm just gonna show you first how it works. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So the way this works, I'm gonna take my left foot, I'm gonna cross it in front of my right foot, and then I'm gonna have my right foot catch up a little bit, and then I'm gonna one more time take a side step to the right with my left foot. And then I'm gonna change. I cross my right foot from my left foot kind of tries to catch up, and then my right foot continues. And I can repeat this over and over again. So I have a cross, I catch up, cross, turn, cross, catch up, and step. Okay? Now, that's the kind of the positions. Now let me show you the feet. It's fast, right? So we kind of need to stay again to the balls of our feet. So we have ball, ball, ball flat, but I want you to notice that my weight is to the ball of the foot because I have to swivel a little bit, right? Not a ton, but I do have to turn a little bit to kind of get my new direction. So again, I've got ball, ball of the foot, ball flat, and as I turn, I let that foot swivel, right? Ball, ball, ball flat, swivel, ball, ball, ball flat, swivel, okay? Now, this figure is danced by both the men and the women. It's just styled very, very differently. So it's gonna inherently look girly because I'm doing it. So if you see some of the guys doing it, you'll maybe feel better about it. But so for me, what's gonna happen as the girl, we can kind of give it a little shoulder shimmy, right? Keeping everything, hands kind of down a little bit tight, right? The guys, I'm gonna do my best impression of what the guys look like. Again, I apologize, it's not gonna look so masculine to me, but they get a little more chesty, so it's a bit wider. So if you think a little bit more animal kingdom, alpha male, right? So coming into my territory here, yes? So again, by virtue of boys doing it, it's gonna look more like a boy figure. By virtue of girls doing it more like girls do it, it's gonna look like a girl figure. So again, you just have to kind of find the look that makes you feel comfortable, right? And again, you can kind of find anyone, and you can make it pretty just, straightforward, right? You don't have to get too fancy with it one way or the other, but that's basically with the figure. So that's your Suzie Q's. Step or swivels. Okay. Next thing we're gonna look at is what's called step over swivels, or also a rope step. I've heard it called a rope step before. Basically all this is you're gonna be walking across yourself. And again, this has the, you know, it can get very girly, or you can make it more marchy for the boys. But the structure is, I'm gonna turn this way. Starting on my right foot, I'm gonna cross my left foot in front of my right foot. Then I'm gonna cross my right foot in front of my left. And left in front of right, right in front of left, right? And so that's all we're doing. We're just kind of walking forward. I'll show you sideways by swiveling. Now, the more I swivel, the more I can stay in place. The more straightforward I go, the less I swivel, the more I will start to advance. It's not a question of right or wrong. You just have to kind of monitor your space and figure out what works for you. So you might need to make it a little bit more swivelly, or you might want to make it a little more straightforward depending on whether you want to advance or not. But either way, you want those feet to come across. And again, staying to the balls of the feet, because by staying to the balls of the feet, I can swivel more easily. Okay, so that's your rope step or the crossover swivels. And the timing of this is just gonna be slows, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we're gonna do 4 of them for a total of 8 counts. The next figure we're gonna work on is called the slide. So the slide, I'm gonna demonstrate for you first. Actually, I'll just face you first so you can get a better look, right? So we start from our basic. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. So let's talk about what's going on with that slide. So the first thing that we do with this slide is we're just gonna dance the first half of the basic. 1, 2, 3. Now, this is where it changes. Normally I go back on my right foot, but this time all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just close that foot right in place. 5, and then I'm gonna take a step kind of diagonal across. There's my slide. 6, and then I close my right foot to my left foot, 7. Let's do that again. So it's gonna be close 5, slide 6, close 7, right? So now we've moved away, right? So let's do it from the beginning. We've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So I was over there, I need to get back there. So now I'm back to the beginning of my basics. So instead of just doing our regular basic here, I'm gonna come across. I'm gonna step forward 1, I'm gonna step back 2, getting back to where I was a moment ago, and closing my feet 3. So I'm just kind of doing a little round step, right? So again, if I'm here, all I'm doing is I'm stepping across to get back there. 1, 2, 3, I hold 4 as always, and I finish up with my back, the second half of my basic, 5, 6, 7. So from the top then, looks like this. 1, 2, 3, close, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that is your slide. Next, I want to look at crossed toe taps. So again, this is pretty straightforward, right? We're going to basically touch across yourself and touch the side, and then step across, and then touch, touch, step, touch, touch, step. Showing you from here, so that you've got a sense of what it looks like. We're gonna start all weight on the right foot, and we're gonna bend the knees a little bit, right? It's gonna make life a lot easier if we do it this way. So you're gonna touch your tippy toe across yourself, and then you're gonna touch the toe to the side, and then you're gonna take a walk across. Now I've got my right foot free. I'm gonna do the whole thing all over again. I'm gonna touch across myself, touch to the side, and step across. And again, I touch across, touch side, cross, touch across, touch side, and cross. The timing for this, pretty straightforward. 1, 2, 3, we hold 4, 5, 6, 7, we hold 8. 1, 2, 3, we hold 4, 5, 6, 7, and we hold 8. So that is your crossed toe taps. Next, let's move on to the hook turn. I'm going to show you first what hook turn looks like. I will just show it from the side for a second. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and you go back to your basic or whatever else is next. Okay? So the first half is very straightforward. 1, 2, 3. The whole thing happens on the second half. So let's just break this down. So we've got 1, 2, 3. On 5, I'm going to take my right foot, I'm going to hook it behind my left foot. Okay? So now from here, I'm going to start to turn over both feet. On my left foot, it can be the toe, it can be the heel, it doesn't matter. But you're gonna start to unwind, 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 unwind. And as you are unwinding, you're gonna go ahead and transfer your weight back to your right foot. Okay, I'm gonna show you again. The action is, I cross behind, and I got to start to, so I've got weight into my left and my right foot. I'm gonna turn, 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 and as I'm hitting the end of my turn, I'm gonna go ahead and transfer weight to my right foot. So at the end of this, my left foot is free. Okay? So now, the timing of this whole thing is gonna be 1, 2, 3, hold 4, 5, I'm gonna turn throughout 6, I finish replacing my weight 7, and I hold 8. Now notice, I didn't finish the turn. I'm only about 3/4 of the way there. That's fine. What's gonna happen is, on the first step of the next figure, that's when I'm gonna finish my rotation, right? So don't kill yourself trying to do a full turn. It doesn't work that way. You only get 3/4 kind of maximum, yeah? So make sure not to go crazy trying to do a full turn. That's where you're gonna get really tripped up. So remember, 1, 2, 3, we cross behind, and also notice I'm crossing pretty tight here, yeah? I'm not crossing here, I'm crossing there, really tight. 5, I turn, 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 6, I replace weight 7, I've only done about 3/4 of the turn, and then on my next one, that's when I'm gonna finish going into whatever is next. Okay, so that is my hook turn. All right, now we're moving on to the jazz circle with ronde. So I'm just gonna show you what it looks like first. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we hold 8, all right? So this one is a little different from the jazz box. This is a jazz circle. So if we just take the ronde out of it for a second. Imagine for a moment that you're walking around a circle. Like the jazz box, we're gonna start with the left foot across. But now we're gonna round this whole thing out a little bit. So we're gonna walk forward, side, back, back across, and around, right? So if we were just walking in a circle in this kind of awkward sort of way, across, side, back, back across, side, forward, all right? Just to give you the sense of what's going on. So now let's break this down a little bit more and talk about that ronde. So you're gonna begin across to the left, 1, kind of diagonally back on the right foot on 2, and then on 3, I'm gonna step back. Now another thing's gonna happen. I'm gonna step back 3, and as I'm stepping back on 3, I'm gonna initiate a little ronde. So by ronde means I'm just gonna take my leg and I'm gonna sweep it around in a little circle. And this is gonna go throughout all of beat 4. I'm gonna step across, back, then I take a side step, and then I walk forward, and then back to the beginning. So again, across, side slightly back, back, swing the foot around, back across, diagonally forward, and forward, okay? The timing of this is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we hold 8. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, you're gonna do this 2 times, all right, in our routine. So all the way circle, remembering to ronde on 4, and that is your jazz circle.